You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio on ESPN Radio 1700. Now, live in studio, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. As you know, within every market there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities, and you just need some trusted guidance. Obviously, that's my message. I give it to you every single day, and on Wine Wednesday, we'll give it to you twice. Let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we're going to celebrate. It's Vanilla Custard Day today. Put that custard right there between two pieces of cake, a little chocolate on top. Form it properly, and yes, indeed, you can call that a chocolate custard eclair, and it would be one of my favorites. National Vanilla Custard Day today. Loving it. The markets, maybe we're not going to be loving that too much. The Dow down 81.87, oil off 22 cents. The 10-year Treasury, it's pretty flat this morning, not doing a whole heck of a lot right there, so we don't have to worry about that one at all. Great day, though, to be looking at the news. Boys, it's amazing when you get into this silly season, as I call it, the last few months before we get into that presidential election. There are a whole lot of stuff going on that we can really chat about, a lot of things that are in the news, a lot moving on, and we just have a good time with it. Where did you catch any of Donald Trump's event last night? That was a pretty interesting one. And being the sarcastic individual that I am, I love this new hashtag going on around town right now. Hillary's Stools. Hashtag Hillary's Stools. Now, me being just a little bit sarcastic, I ask what kind of stool you're referring to. A lot of people don't think that's funny. I just thought it was had a little fun with it. But Hillary's stool, they're actually referring to the fact that someone on social media, it was not a reporter because they don't report anything that could be off norm for Hillary. It's just the way the media is in this day and age. They are all in for Hillary. I wonder what the media is going to say if she does not win. Now, she does have a bit of a lead right now. But the media, boy, they are all in for Hillary in most cases, not reporting Hillary's stools. So that's just kind of an interesting piece of fun, an interesting aside, if you will. You know, we talk all the time about getting great real estate advice. And one of the items I just caught in the news, I don't know if you saw this. We talked about this some time ago, that the Playboy Mansion was up for sale, and now it has been sold. Darren Metropolis, a principal of the private equity firm Metropolis & Company and former co-CEO of Pabst Blue Ribbon, just bought the 20,000 square foot Los Angeles home of the Playboy Mansion. Now think about this one. It's amazing. Boy, if those walls could talk, boy, could we could do some radio broadcasts on those walls if they could talk, couldn't we? Amazing stuff there. Part of the deal, now here's why I talk about it in a real estate sense. as I share with you all the time, you have to list properties properly, and you have to get great guidance when you're doing so. You need the right people to work with you to do all these things. Well, and I don't know who was the listing agent on this. I could probably find out. The property was, it is a 5-acre property, 29-room mansion, 4-bedroom guest house. It was originally listed for $200 million. With one significant caveat. In addition to getting the mansion, you also got Hugh Hefner. The agreement was that Mr. Hefner would have the ability or the right to stay as long as he desired. Well, okay, and it's obviously he's not going to be there too much longer. He's 90 years old. They paid... Now, Mr. Hefner, the company, I guess Playboy Enterprises, bought the mansion 45 years ago for $1 million, a historically high price for the area at the time. Metropolis purchased the next door estate. He paid $18 million for it. Well, now he's going to have side-by-side houses, but even though the property was listed at $200 million, and including Hugh Hefner, he got it for $100 million, including Hugh Hefner. I don't know whether that was a plus or a minus getting Hef to go with it, but that's the way the numbers are. $100 million. Talk about that as a markdown of some sort. Amazing there. It's talking about markdowns of some sort, and we'll chat about this a little bit more later today when we're talking about retirement. One of the big issues on retirement right now, one of the big concerns or problems that our retirees are seeing outside of that 10-year treasury that's getting them no money on their fixed income, and they're not getting money back or increases from the government on their Social Security and their pensions, things like that. Well, now they're also seeing that health care costs are rising way too high for them. And as they rise so much, we are seeing that not, as we suspected, with respect to the Unaffordable Care Act, Aetna, they're one of the top companies or top insurance providers for the Unaffordable Care Act. They will leave 11 of the 15 states where they had been participating next year, pulling out of the government-run markets. Now, many of us looked at this right along and said, there's no possible way. You can't force people to buy something they don't want. Many of us believe it's unconstitutional, although Judge Roberts saw it the other way. So we got this forced down our throats. But Aetna, when they say they're expecting to lose $300 million, now I don't ever put out a tin cup for an insurance company, but $300 million, that's a serious amount of money, and they're saying they're going to lose it, but they're not going to, they're not the government. They're not going to continue losing it. They're just going to walk away from that business and say, we don't want it anymore. We can't make up our losses by more volume. We'll just keep on losing money. No, thank you, Mr. Obama. Aetna walking away from the plan, the program, and we've been sharing with you that that's probably going to happen more and more as these companies see what the real costs are, because it is the young people who they've been counting on that will carry them, cover them, pick up the tab, even though they don't need insurance as much as we all need it as we get older. So they're looking at this and saying, no thank you. Aetna, they're out. And you're going to be stuck with that bill again, as we discussed about that. It's not a real surprise, is it? Talking about not a real surprise, and people, Carl Icahn coming out and talking about he may jump on the Trump bandwagon a little more, hoping that Trump will do some work on the EPA and recall some of the bans there and help businesses continue to grow. So Carl Icahn may get involved in the U.S. presidential election, funding an ad campaign to highlight Donald Trump's vow to slash government red tape. I guess I should find that information right. I think that's the one I want right there. Well, maybe not. I guess being that the president's on vacation, maybe that's why he's not.
So I know whose ass to kick.
Oh, yeah, there he is. President finally showed up. Well, Mr. Icahn might be looking to help out a little bit. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Wine Wednesday, how's the harvest going for 2016? Real estate, real life versus reality TV. 5 myths explained. Trended credit data is the new trend in Fannie Mae underwriting. That would be for your home. And how reverse mortgages can save your retirement. All that and more. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay will be available, RonSiegelRadio.com, and on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel Radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission, lending partners will give a credit at closing, the title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. They have all the products to help you get that new home or maybe even save money on your existing property. Gold Star Mortgage. Give me a call at 800-306-1990. I'll put you in touch with the right people. Article in U.S. News. Amazing. They're finally catching on how reverse mortgages can save retirement. One of the big assets seniors have is their home, and in some situations, those who are facing challenges in retirement may be able to live a little bit more comfortably by tapping in to their home equity is the subject of the article in U.S. News and World Report. Think about this concept. There's a lot of fear out there about the reverse mortgage. It's a great product for the right person. Basically, anybody over 62 years of age having equity in their property, because they can protect the equity in the property if it is structured the right way. And I was just looking at a scenario with somebody over the weekend. He's had his house for some time, $600,000 property. He's going to get into the reverse mortgage with absolutely no cost. No cost. So you can't say it's too expensive because there's no cost. Amazing right there. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by Gold Star Mortgage.
Red, red wine goes to my head, makes me forget that I still can't so good.
Red wine means it is time for our Wednesday chat with Robert Mott. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, Ron. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Some people are calling this hump day today, but being that I'm going to be here tomorrow and then heading out to the valley, it's a great day. And have a glass of wine, something like that over there. But as we look forward, talk about the stock market all the time. The stock market is a forward-looking environment or vehicle or tool. So maybe we can use our in-house predictor, Robert Mott, as to forward-looking on what does the wine season look like, the harvest of 2016.
Yeah, I feel like when you say it that way, we need to have some attorney present to have that statement that they always have during earnings calls.
Exactly.
Statement like that thing.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's just wine, and we're not talking about huge financial swings for any of the individuals listening at this point. I think the thing I would characterize, especially a lot of the data I get, of course, is from Napa because that's where I spend the majority of my time.
Tough life, Robert. Tough life.
It's been a great season. It really has. It's been one of those times that anytime you want to, take a trip up to the wine country in Napa Valley or Sonoma, the weather has been perfect during the day. It's been nice and warm. The evenings have been cool. The fog's been coming in off the bay, off the ocean, and so you get that big, what they call big diurnal shift. So it means, of course, the temperature differential between the low of the night versus the high of the day. Lots of sunshine. And we didn't have really any, even though we had the El Nino working a little bit this last winter, we really didn't have any late rains that affected the bud break at all. And not a lot of high winds or anything like that. So the crops look pretty good. I mean, really good. And some of the first harvest is coming in, that's really an exciting time during the grape growing season, of course, when you get to see literally the fruits of everybody's labor. So the first bin...
No pun intended there.
No, I need a rim shot on that one.
Exactly.
A sound effect for that somewhere.
Right.
But anyway, the first bin is the Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir. And also Pinot Meunier have been coming in to the crush pads around Napa Valley. Our sparkling wine producers are Chandons and Mumm and the Tattinger people have all started bringing in their some of their early wines, like I say, some of the Pinot Noir and Pinot Meunier, and possibly some of the Pinot Blanc as well. So anyway, so far everything looks great. The fruits it's gotten nice and ripe. It promises a lot of flavor. In the vineyard, the Cabernet Sauvignon is making that steady transition from the green berries to pink and soon deep purple. And so those are looking great right now as well. Winemakers are very active in the vineyard right now, going through and checking the sugar levels, the bricks level, as we've called, people who've listened to the show before would recognize that terminology, and also tasting the grapes to see where they are in the ripeness profile as well. And a few other things, few adjustments are being made late in the season like this. Sometimes they'll go through and they'll trim some of the vigor or the canopy off of the vines to allow more sunshine in to some of the later developing grapes to ensure that they get nice and ripe. But so far, 2016 looks like another great harvest. And how many of this was in a row? So 12 was fantastic, 13, 14, 15, and now 16. It's going to be 5 years in a row of some of the most wonderful fruit that we've seen ever, just because the winemaking and grape growing, the viticulture practices continue just to get better and better and better.
Well, I would say from a consumer advocate and financial standpoint, I would say some of the winemakers up there should start doing a little bit of hedging, just a little, because, boy, how many years in a row can you be great?
Yeah, that's a tough one, and part of it's the drought that, that we spend so much time talking about. While the drought is really not great for a lot of the other agricultural crops in California, it generally works to the advantage, at least in the short term. I say short term, less than 5, 6, 7 years. Works to the advantage of the grape growers who are growing wine grapes, because, as we've said before as well, you stress the grapes and you end up with great wine as a result of that. So like I say, the drought has actually worked for us in the wine business in some ways. Well, it does have some negative impact on yields and tonnage produced, but the quality of the fruit has been just outstanding. So we're looking forward to that next really big El Nino that had the big rains that last well into the spring, and that's the one that will probably dictate a little bit of a down year for our wine harvest, our grape harvest for wine.
So let me ask you this, Robert. Being you spend a lot of time in Napa, when would you suggest is the best time for a Napa visit, other than every day?
Well, every day. You got it right there as well, every day. You'll hear different opinions from different people on that run. Some people love to visit this time of year in the summer, in the late summer and fall, because that becomes harvest, when the grapes are being harvested and crushed, and that time period. And it is a wonderful time to be there, because there's just that smell in the air. There's a lot of energy around. All the winemakers and viticulturists and people like that are very excited because they're seeing the fruit come in, and they have these great expectations of what's going to happen with that fruit and the wines they're going to make with it. And so there's just a fabulous energy in the air in the late summer and early fall. However, that is probably the most popular time for visitors to come in and visit the wine country. And so that has its own issues with it, as you might guess. Hotel rooms are expensive. Sometimes you can't always get into all the wineries you want to get into. Sometimes the appointments are few and far between in terms of being able to get them, because everybody's so busy. And a lot of times you may feel a little rushed this time of year to kind of get in one place and get out. There's a lot of traffic on the road. Sometimes it's hard to get from one place to the other. So while many people really love this time of year, my favorite time is, it's kind of like the stock market. They're all buying and sell, and
Sure.
They're all selling and buy.
Yep.
My favorite time of the year is actually January.
I like that time too. Because it's nice and cool it's not real hot during the day. It gets real nice and crisp at night. Yeah,
exactly. And so sometimes rain that time of year, but it's no big deal because you're inside with a glass of wine in your hand most of the time anyway. Very little traffic on the road. Pretty much everybody's played out from the holidays, and you're sitting there with people who are really grateful that you've shown up and interrupted their day of watching the paint dry. So, like I say, early January, the first 2 weeks in January are absolutely my favorite time to be in the wine country. Usually hotel rooms are plentiful. Usually they're fairly inexpensive. Typically you can get in to see just about anybody you want to see. Now, the wineries themselves are it's like winter in the wineries, too. A lot of times there's not a lot going on in the winery itself, but there's always wine. And as long as you have a glass and a nice person to on the other side of the bar to open a bottle for you and talk to you about the wine, it makes me one of the most pleasant experiences ever is to visit in literally the dead of winter in the wine country. So it's certainly one of my favorite times. But before we finish up today, I do have a shameless plug.
Okay.
If you allow me.
Absolutely.
Nothing I'm involved in directly myself, but I have two very good friends who own the Old Town Coffee Shop in Old Town La Quinta.
Great place to visit.
Exactly. And, Aaron and Marcy Johnson, two of the most wonderful people you'll ever meet. Well, the space next to them, they are converting that into a wine bar and wine retail establishment. And my wife and I have been helping them a little bit to get through the setup process there. And so if anybody's in Old Town La Quinta, and I think they were scheduled to open about the first weekend in September. If you're there by the coffee shop, definitely stop in, say hello to Aaron and Marcy, see what's going on in the new wine bar over there. It's going to be called the Wine Emporium. It's going to be very casual. It's going to have great wine, small bites. I think it'll be a great place to show up and share a glass or a bottle of wine with some great friends. So, again, shameless plug. I'm in full disclosure mode. I get no financial benefit out of it whatsoever.
Just a lot of pleasure. When are they? When did you say they're opening? Because I'm actually going to head out that way probably tomorrow.
Well, first weekend of September. So they're not open yet, but it will be a couple of weeks.
Okay, so I guess I'll just have to stick with iced tea.
Definitely stop in the coffee shop there if you get a chance anyway and say hello to everybody. And I'm sure you'll see some activity in the establishment right next door. It used to be a gift shop that they also owned as well.
Well, maybe we'll be able to get you to tell us when the grand opening is, and we can set up a time to go and visit and have a great time. And I think it's a great location. Old Town is a lot of fun. The coffee shop has always been wonderful. Don't tell my wife that I love their sweet rolls there because they make the best. Get me in trouble. But great stuff, and we appreciate you sharing that with us, Robert Mott. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, real estate, real life versus reality TV, 5 myths. We'll talk about them all. Trended credit data. It's the new trend in Fannie Mae underwriting. We'll chat about that as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Our house in the middle of our street.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel lending team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel lending team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel lending team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
UDirect IRA Services has helped thousands of Americans invest their IRA outside of the stock market into real estate, land, private notes, and more to improve their financial future. UDirect IRA is a third-party administrator providing complete and accurate information on self-directed IRAs so you can make the most of your retirement funds, educating individual investors investors and professionals is the cornerstone of UDirect IRA. We have events right here in Southern California geared towards self-directed investing. We also offer webinars, so no matter where you are, you can learn to earn. Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
37% of American homeowners believe they have over 20% equity in their homes. Fannie Mae tells us 69% of American homeowners have over 20% equity in their homes. Fully 1 in 3 American homeowners are not informed about the amount of equity they have in their homes. Are you one of them? How might this be holding you back from achieving your goals? Text RSR CMA to 79564 to get a property valuation from one of the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Again, to know how much your home is really worth, simply text RSR CMA to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text PAIR, P-E-A-R, to 79564, PAIR, P-E-A-R, 79564. One of the real estate professionals will reach out to you and get you the true equity position of your real estate, of your property. Can't do it with those online services. They don't give you that same information. Just text PAIR. It's free. Real estate, real life versus reality TV. We will give you the myths of these items, these issues, right here, right now on Ron Siegel Radio. Have you been watching? I shouldn't say this, but my wife loves watching some of these reality shows, and it's so funny when you're in the industry and understand these things. You see this show Hole on HTV, Love It or List It, Fixer Upper, House Hunters, Flip or Flop, Property Brothers, $1 Million Listing, all of these different shows, reality TV shows versus real life. Myth number 1, buyers look at 3 homes and make a decision to purchase one of them. What do you think about? I mean, does that make sense to anybody at all? No, I agree. It doesn't make sense. Buyers I've had the opportunity of chatting with some of those reality TV people, and when you chat with some of those reality folks, you do get to see what the behind the scenes are. And I've heard them say many times that you might be looking at 10% of what they actually do is what makes television. So when you talk about looking at 3 homes, have you ever bought a home? Have you ever contemplated? Have you ever known anybody that's bought a home? I would suggest that you're going to look at probably a lot more than 3. Now, I have talked to some real estate agents, and their philosophy is they'll only show 3 at a time because they feel, and this makes a lot of sense, they feel that it's their job to go out and do the previewing for you, for the consumer. And they're trying to narrow it down so they're not showing you 100 properties and confusing you, and they're doing the work for you, which is great. And if they show you 3 properties and get your feedback on those 3 properties, and you don't find the exact right property, well, they can go back, do some more homework, and try and understand your desires just a little bit better. So don't feel bad if you're thinking about looking at more than 3 homes. Myth number 2, the houses the buyers are touring are still for sale. Reality is remember here again. The houses the buyers are touring are still for sale. On the reality shows, think about that one. Yeah, you know better than that. Think about it. Those shows are taped. They are not live broadcasts. So the properties that they're showing, hopefully they're not still for sale. And they're off the market. Now, even so, and that's why I tell you all the time, you need to have a great real estate professional. Even when you go and look up properties that are on the market, that online say they're on the market, they may not be on the market either. They are, many times, they don't get pulled down. The people that don't follow what's supposed to be the ethics rules within many multiple listing services or associations, real estate associations, where they ask the real estate professionals, when you list the property, we want to get it on the MLS right away. When the property is sold, we want to get it to move to pending so your colleagues are not out there looking at it and trying to promote that to somebody who can't buy it. And when escrow closes, note it as being sold so that it's off the market, so people know that it's not for sale any longer. Myth number 3, the buyers haven't made a purchase decision yet. Truth, since there's no way to show the entire buying process in a 30-minute show, TV producers often choose buyers who are further along in the process and have already chosen a home to buy. Does that surprise you?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Now, it doesn't surprise me. It's TV, folks. That's what it's all about. And if you're thinking that the concept of TV is going to be they're showing you everything that there is to see, it's just not happening that way. They may have already selected the property. They may be in escrow already. They may have already cleared what their lending conditions are. The way it works. Myth number 4, if you list your home for sale, it will always sell at the open house. Of course, this would be great. Open houses are important to guarantee the most exposure to buyers in your area, but are only a piece of the overall marketing of your home. Just realize that many homes are sold during regular listing appointments as well. Let's think about this right here. Amazing how many consumers are thinking about the open house. And I'm going to share with you that the open house might be a little bit old school, not old school, but maybe not quite as, it's a piece of the pie. It's not the whole pie, the whole marketing pie. And I'll share with you honestly, my opinion here is open houses are really great for the real estate agent because they get a lot of people, they get you to set up your house like a museum. You're staging it, which you need to do. You're decluttering it, which you need to do. You're cleaning it. You're maybe putting in a few new flowers. Everything that you need to do to market your property. Remember that word, market your property. And then you get a bunch of people coming through. And if the real estate agent is doing their job the most efficient way, they're going to try and collect a list of the people that come in. I am going to suggest to you that they should be offering every individual that comes into the property some sort of gift. Every individual that comes into the property should get a gift from the real estate professional that's holding that property open. What kind of gift should they be getting? Well, in my opinion, what they should do is give them a magazine that's called Things to Consider When Buying a Home. And it's called a trade. You give me your name and email address, I will give you this gift. I will give you this document, this book. And the book changes every quarter. We give it away for free. I mean, you can get your copy just by texting HBG to 79564. I'll give you a free copy of it. HBG to 79564, 25 pages. The real estate professional should be giving something along those lines. They should create their own as well and give it away at the open house. Do you know why it is that so many people at an open house list their name when they do that sign-in log as Mickey Mouse? Well, they don't want to get a bunch of junk mail from somebody. But we're used to trading. You give me your email address, I will send you something for free. I have a gift bag. We'll send you for free. Text gift bag to 79564. You get that as well. Very, very simple. But what's more important, think about this. If you have an open house, you might get 10, 20, 30 people coming through the open house. How about setting up an open house for real estate agents? If you get 10 professional real estate agents to come through your house, and they're each working with 10 people, Now you've got 100 people that have been exposed to your property, yet consumers, when they talk about listing their house with a real estate agent, they don't ask, will you be doing a broker preview or an open house? The answer should be both. Who are you going to show it to? Everybody. Very, very simple. We want to get the information out there, and you got to expose the property. People are going to see the information online. But the information that's online is only as good as the data that's put in, the description that's written up, the pictures that are taken. It's not a substitute for staging your property properly, decluttering, cleaning, making it look appealing. Even at an open house, I've seen agents that'll go into the house early and start baking cookies so you get the smell-o-vision. Think about these things. We'll talk about the fifth myth when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. We'll finish up with real life versus reality TV 5 myths. Trended credit data is the new trend in Fannie Mae underwriting. We're going to talk about that as well. You can reach us anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, nearly 500,000 people a month are checking out the replays. Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
In the middle of Australia.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Isn't it time you found out the truth about FHA insured home equity conversion? No, it's not your grandfather's reverse mortgage. This just may be the finest financial planning strategy available for all homeowners of retirement age. Helping protect what you've earned is the job of your board of directors with continued education. Major research has shown that using a HECM will significantly enhance the success rate of a retiree's portfolio and legacy. Please allow us to educate. For your complimentary consultation, call Jay Kaplan at 949-300-3855. That's 949-300-3855.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to REAP@RonSiegelRadio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
Summer's here. How's your AC unit, lawn, doors, and windows? With Hero, make your home more comfortable this summer and lower your utility bills. Visit HeroProgram.com for details or call 855-HERO-411. listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just to finish up on the real-time real estate segment from before the break, we were chatting about the real-life versus reality TV myths with respect to real estate. Myth number 5 on the list here. Homeowners will make a decision about selling their home after a 5-minute conversation. Really? Who would even come up with... I don't know where they come up with some of these things. If somebody really believes... And I guess I get it. I understand that people will think that what they see on TV is exactly the correct... Believe it or not, even on the crime shows, they don't solve... The police, the real police officers doing a great job out there, they don't solve crimes in a 30-minute time window either. They don't get all those reports back. So, similar to the buyers portrayed on the shows, many of the sellers have already spent hours deliberating the decision to list their home and move on with their life goals. Think about that as well. Do you really believe that, 5 minutes they've made a decision? If that was the case, there would be a lot more real estate people out there involved in real estate than there are, and as it is right now, there's a lot of them out there and a lot of them starving. So think about that concept. Bottom line here, having an experienced professional on your side while navigating the real estate market is the only way or the best way to guarantee that you're going to make the home of your dreams a reality. You gotta just be using professional guidance. It's your biggest decision of your life. It's the biggest investment of your life. How do you think that you're going to do it? What in life do you come across that doesn't take a whole lot of effort and you're dealing in serious dollars? So that's the real-time real estate segment, again brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Texting PAIR to PEAR 79564 in the Your Credit Matters segment today. Very interesting conversion right now. There is a new trend in mortgage loan underwriting. No, it's not Pokemon Go. That's not the new trend. Skinny jeans, no, that's not it either. Or no smartwatches, that's not it. Fannie Mae, commonly known as, or more precisely known, Federal National Mortgage Association, is moving to what they call trended credit data when underwriting single-family homes for mortgage loans. Most people are not familiar with what trended data is. Trended credit data is historical information on a consumer's credit behavior. It takes up to 24 months of trade line credit reporting with information like balance, credit limit, high credit, scheduled payment, and actual payments documented. Fannie Mae mandated the credit reporting shift to include trended credit data because per Fannie Mae, their underwriting emphasis now on evaluating better credit risk analysis on revolving accounts, and trended credit data will allow them to do just that. And what they're looking at here is, based on your past history, what are you doing? So here, give you an example. If you've been making minimum payments on a trade item on your credit report, on a credit card, on a revolving debt, well, then they can kind of guess that over time, that's what you're going to continue to do, and that's going to affect your score in a certain manner that way. If you've been making greater than minimum payments, then they're going to look at that as well, and you're going to get more benefit or more bang for your buck because you don't make minimum payments. If you are someone that has run up all your credit and then paid it off this last month, well, then they're going to say, whoa, wonder what's going on here. Maybe, unless that's something that you do on a regular basis. Maybe you that run a 70 or 80% balance on your trade line and pay it off every month, but you pay it off not strategically, as I've explained to you. You're not paying it off before the statement due date. You're paying it off after the statement due date. And you don't get the bang for the buck that the guy that knew what he was doing and paid it off ahead of time. Well, that's going to be taken into account in this trended data. Some examples of accounts and trade lines that probably won't display the new information, well, that'll be authorized user, child family support collections, trade duplicates, insufficient information to score, file contains no trade inquiry or collection or public record. Some of those items that are open less than 6 months, lost or stolen items, masked trade data for certain narrative bankruptcies, in dispute medical collections, months since reported greater than 24 months is going to be minimized. Public records, subject deceased. These are items that are going to, yes, we do get people that'll run a credit report when the subject is deceased. Not a good issue, but it does tend to happen. So all of these things are part of what is going into this trended data or trended credit, and it's going to show up right on the credit report where people will know that they're looking at trended credit. And Fannie Mae start. Fannie Mae is the one that requires the easy for me to say, the credit report inclusion in your reports, into the credit making decision. Now, yes, I heard this yesterday on one of the big major national talk shows, and they were talking about the idea that if you have absolutely no credit at all, can you get a mortgage loan? And they were talking about the idea that you can do that with a manual underwrite. Well, first off, a lot of companies don't do manual underwrites, and we understand that when you take out players from the game, that means there's going to be less competition. That means you, the consumer, are going to pay more money. So that's not a benefit to you. The other idea is most people, not everybody, but almost everybody has a credit score. If you have absolutely no credit score, then yeah, the manual underwrite will work. But I've shared this with you before. I've seen people, I've consulted with folks that they have a credit, even though they had really no trade lines, the bureaus threw something in there because there's so much information out there anymore. You've got a credit report. It may not be accurate. None of them are accurate. But I know of one young lady going to get her first house. This time was with her boyfriend, now her husband. And she looked at we pulled their credit report to see what it showed on there. She had virtually nothing. There's maybe one or two items on there. Yet she had like a 5-something credit score. And I'm looking and saying, well, there's not even enough data to give her a great information, yet it was there. So I'm going to share with you now, this one individual, his mantra is don't have any credit, don't use any credit. And I'm going to say to you, not very realistic. Now, in Tennessee, maybe you can get away with that. We're in the state of confusion. Our real estate prices here in California are significantly higher than they are in Tennessee. You can buy a house in Tennessee, a nice house in Tennessee, for about the same amount of money as a down payment is here in California. So when they talk about doing a 15-year loan there, that might make sense there. I don't think it makes sense anywhere, but it might make sense for them. And I'll tell you why. He's telling people to get 0 rate of return on your equity. One of your biggest assets you have, he's professing, get no rate of return on it. I'm going to tell you that having no mortgage is the biggest mistake an individual can make, because there are safe, secure, guaranteed or insured investments that will get you 7.5%, 8% return. I can't guarantee it, but it has done it historically. 7.5%, 8% return on your investment, and it's safe. Now, you borrow right now, the Freddie Mac rate last week, Thursday, came out at 3.45 on a 30-year fixed rate loan. 3.45. Now, maybe if you're thinking about a 15-year rate, maybe it'll save you, maybe you'll get all the way down to 3%. I don't know what your numbers are. I didn't look at the Freddie Mac rate because I don't like the program as 15-year. I don't recommend it because I want you to take that same money and put it into one of these investments, not into buying a car, not into buying a boat, and let your money work for you. Why would you have an IRA, a 401k, a savings account, and would you do that and say, I want 0 rate of return on it? I don't think even this guru would say, I like the idea of a 0 rate of return. No, they don't do that. What they say to you is, we want to get a rate of return. We want to get the best possible rate of return. And if you're going and doing that, then think about your biggest asset and having money hidden right there. Just a thought. Sharing with you. If you have any questions, give me a call. And I ask you every day, set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Steve, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions, call me anytime. Or if you want to meet any of our guests, we'll put you in touch with them as well. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com. And 800-306-1990. Make a lot of money, help a lot of people, have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
XLPE 1700 AM
You're listening to ESPN Radio 1700. Surf in today to